What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blueblood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Cuban, Southpaw, heavyweight, once beaten contender, will be taking on and looking to avenge that one loss, that one blemish on his resume against Olympic bronze medalist, undefeated WBC American heavyweight champion, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, next Saturday, November 23rd, in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? So with that said, Luis King Kong Ortiz has been training heavy. He's been focused. He looks to be in the best shape of his career. He looks to be in the best shape of his life, right? Luis Ortiz has hired Larry Wade, high profile strength and condition coach for this rematch, to give himself the best opportunity to be victorious in this rematch. Luis Ortiz has some interesting things to say, about Deontay Wilder. A lot of times there's conflicting stories coming from Luis Ortiz, as he doesn't speak English and he has translators. And as of late, he stated that Deontay Wilder was a dirty fighter. He said he uses a lot of dirty tactics. He uses a lot of tactics that's, borderline, crossing the line. And he hoped that the referee and everybody would, pay close attention to it. So he wanted to highlight it. And then he came out and he stated that, no, that's not what he said, that the translator translated it all wrong and delivered the message all wrong. So who knows? But Luis Ortiz did have this to say today. Says that Deontay Wilder is the heavyweight of the decade. He said he's the best heavyweight of this decade. Until somebody relieve him of those titles and those duties, he's the best heavyweight of our era. He says that, he respects all the other heavyweights, but if you must give credit when credit is due, and he's not just saying this because he already took a loss and took an L to Deontay Wilder, and Deontay Wilder's giving him an opportunity. He said that he's saying this due to the fact that the accomplishments, the skill set, what he's done, and what he can do. He says if he defeats him, he feels like he'll replace him. He wants to absorb all his accomplishments. He stated that, Deontay Wilder is definitely great, and he deserves more credit than he's given. He says he gets a lot of credit, he gets a lot of accolades, but he gets a lot of disdain also in return, and it's not warranted. Now I'm paraphrasing. Obviously, he didn't say it like that, but this is how he was saying. This is what he meant when he was talking. So I'm paraphrasing to cut corners, right, to make a long story short. So he's stating that, Deontay Wilder deserves a lot of credit, for being the best heavyweight currently. He believes that Deontay Wilder would knock out Anthony Joshua. He believes that would be an easy fight for him. He believes that Deontay Wilder, should he be victorious against him, will knock out Tyson Fury in the rematch. He believes he'll be victorious in the rematch. He believes that he would defeat Andy Ruiz Jr. So he says that he believes he has the best chance to defeat Deontay Wilder. He has the best skill set to defeat Deontay Wilder, and if it's not done by him, he don't see it happening. So, Luis King Kong Ortiz has a very high ring IQ. He comes from the Cuban school of boxing, so we know they have a high ring IQ. They have probably the best school of boxing, pure boxing, in all of, anywhere you could come from, right? So Luis Ortiz is feared for a reason. He's avoided for a reason. And so, it's credible when he says these things. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, no, he's just saying that because, he's going into a fight with him and he wants to big up his opponent, so if he's victorious, it looks even better that he was able to defeat him. And yeah, that could be the case. But I don't think that's the case. I think that Luis Ortiz is a very, very honest person. And I think that Luis Ortiz is being truthful in this situation and in this scenario. And I agree with Luis Ortiz. I think that Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight of this era thus far. You know, you're going to get people that's fans of other fighters, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, so on and so forth. Deontay Wilder has knocked out or knocked down every opponent he's ever faced. And I know people are going to highlight the level of opposition. Well, okay, let's just do this. He beats Ortiz for a second time, and he goes and fights Tyson Fury and beats Tyson Fury for a second time. Who has a better resume than Deontay Wilder in this era? Nobody. Who would be on Anthony Joshua's resume that's better than Ortiz and Tyson Fury, even if he beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch? He still already lost to Andy Ruiz. So even if he beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch, would you say that Andy Ruiz is a sure shot better fighter than Tyson Fury? No. Now, maybe you could say Andy Ruiz has a strong chance to beat Luis Ortiz, but that's a 50-50 fight at worst in Andy Ruiz's favor. More so, you would say it's in favor of Ruiz than it is Ortiz than it is Andy Ruiz. You understand? So, you know, if he is to accomplish beating Ortiz and then going ahead and beating Tyson Fury for a second time, listen, is there truly an argument at this point in time? No, it's not an argument. So, you know, I have to agree with Ortiz, and it's sad at this point in time. If he fought Anthony Joshua, you know, something has been taken off of that rivalry, right? Especially depending upon how Anthony Joshua fares with Andy Ruiz in the second fight. If Anthony Joshua, you know, has a great outing and stones Andy Ruiz and just comes out and blows him out the water, guess what? The rivalry heightens again. But if Anthony Joshua goes in there and has a fight, a snooze fest like the Joseph Parker fight, still he's going to get credit for it, and it still will be a big fight. But still, some of the oomph is off of it, and people will still highly favor Deontay Wilder to beat Anthony Joshua. You know, so Tyson Fury, right? His last performance versus Otto Wallin. You know, Tyson Fury is going to lose to Deontay Wilder. I believe Deontay Wilder has learned his lesson from the first outing, and I think it's going to look a lot different. And I think that Deontay Wilder is going to knock out Tyson Fury within 7 to 8 rounds. I think he's going to knock out Luis Ortiz within 7 to 8 rounds. And I think he's going to knock out Anthony Joshua should they ever fight even earlier. I think that fight is not going to the 5th round. I think the toughest fight of them all after Tyson Fury and Ortiz is going to be Andy Ruiz, right? And he could still fight Andy Ruiz. You understand? He could fight Ortiz, beats him. Fight Fury in February, beats him. If Andy Ruiz loses to Anthony Joshua, fight Anthony Joshua, beat him. He could still fight Andy Ruiz. Why? It's still going to be a big fight. Why? Because Andy Ruiz split with Anthony Joshua. Should Anthony Joshua beat Andy Ruiz, it's still a split. He's still split with Anthony Joshua. You understand? So when you look at it from that standpoint, yes, you're going to get a lot of detractors. Deontay Wilder gets a lot of disdain. But the proof is in the pudding. Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight of this era. Don't let people try and deter you and try to tell you what you see. You understand? You saw him knock out Tyson Fury. That should have been a knockout. The referee should have waved it off the way Tyson Fury was laying on his back looking at the ceiling. After all of the tragedies in the sport of boxing currently, if Tyson Fury was to be knocked down like this go round, you think they're not going to wave it off? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're waving it off immediately. Right? It's a miracle they didn't do it this time. But hey, it is what it is. Right? So with that said, you know, Deontay Wilder, is the best fighter of this era. And he wants to prove it. Regardless of what Eddie Hearn, Matchroom CEO and promoter of Anthony Joshua says, he's been trying to make that fight with Anthony Joshua for quite some time. They chose not to go that route. And we see why they chose not to go that route. Because Anthony Joshua doesn't deal with adversity too well. George Foreman and Teddy Atlas said something that was very informative. They said that he didn't show the heart of a champion in that fight against Andrew Ruiz, and maybe that was due to him not being in front of his home crowd and having to face his hometown foes, people, friends and family, after what seemed to be him quitting. Right? So he didn't show the heart of a champion like he did against Vladimir Klitschko. And that's true. He wavered. He gave in. He quit. Tyson Fury, his family, his wife, don't want him to take the rematch. It's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. If Deontay Wilder's so wild, if Deontay Wilder had no skill set, then why are they worried? Only thing he has is power. Nullify it and defeat him. You understand? I think the person that stands the best chance to beat Deontay Wilder is Andrew Ruiz Jr. because styles make fights. He's able to dip, dodge, get up and get in your house and wreak havoc. That's what he's able to do. Outside of that, it don't happen. It don't happen. He learned his lesson with Tyson Fury. He's going to defeat Tyson Fury. He's going to use the jab to the solar plex. He's going to bring it back up top, and he's going to knock Tyson Fury out. He's going to hide the right hand with the jab against Luis Ortiz next Saturday, and he's going to knock Luis Ortiz out. With Anthony Joshua, he's just going to obliterate Anthony Joshua. Why? Because Anthony Joshua has no head movement. He has stamina issues. Deontay Wilder's going to come straight forward and knock Anthony Joshua out. He has a quicker jab, a better jab. He's more athletic, and he's more powerful. Anthony Joshua has stamina issues and lacks head movement. Recipe for disaster. Andrew Ruiz has the best chance to defeat Deontay Wilder. Point blank and period. Hands down. So yes, I agree with Luis Ortiz. Deontay Wilder is the greatest heavyweight of this era. Point blank and period. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.